Morning, guys. Mike, Blair, and Cassidy back after Christmas. Anyway, let's. We're going to do a walkthrough. Then I got some really sad news I got to share with Blair. And Mike, make him sit down.
Oh no!
Yeah, sad.
Hey, these outside corners are bent down.
Okay.
So either I'm going to cut this so it's easy to pull up, or I'm going to bolt the body down. I'm just getting these new bolts in.
Are they long enough?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just dumped them in, and then Cassidy asked what I was up to, and then I had to go show her some rear suspension work that I was probably going to readjust.
Well, I actually looked at Connor's, and his aren't pushed in all of the way either. There is like about that much that doesn't shoulder.
What I'm saying about that. Two wrongs make a right. Is that it?
Well, or it might be that's just as far as they go. Don't know. 10-pound sledgehammer.
They're coming back out.
No, if anything, they're going
they're
in.
coming out because you got to put that freaking rubber on the other side.
It doesn't do anything.
Oh, come on. It stops the whole arm from being able to move back and forth.
No, that's the center steel piece.
They wouldn't send it if it didn't need to be there.
These
guys engineer this stuff.
Well, I've never seen one on it because I went out and looked at three rear ends.
So we'll be the first ones.
No, it could be maybe it fits on a 10-bolt rear end, not a 12, just because the case is so much bigger.
We should call and check that out.
Well,
we want to make sure we do it properly.
It's a piece of rubber. I don't think so, but whatever. We can pop them back out and check, but there's just no room. Because if we do take them out and those pieces don't fit when they go back in, you're doing it for free.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay, so what's the issue here?
Well, okay, if you look from the front, looking back, right here, this, because it's had no box side on it for years,
that's
it's
right.
Getting bent. So this has just been hanging out in space, people sitting on it.
Yep.
Might have got bumped with the skid steer. Who knows? But
bumped with the skid.
Potentially, I'm just saying. So both sides are down.
Yep.
And if we lift these up, it brings up the back of the box side and tightens up our top door gap at the doors. So I want to bolt this down.
And then maybe put the floor jack in a post or something?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, I can always do a relief cut.
Yes.
And it'll easily come up.
Yep.
And because that won't work.
Okay.
Not ideal, but that's what we may have to do. So I want to get that done so that I can finish the door gaps. I'm going to cut the top off these doors.
Yes, we do have a template. Yeah, we do have a template, so I can pop those doors off and bring them in.
Oh, yeah.
Then we can work on them in here, so, you know.
Ooh, wow.
It's nice and warm. Because there's actually another set that are in much better shape. They're still garbage doors, but trying to get them off of Buddy so we can just bolt.
You're buying more crap.
Well, no, just a couple doors.
Yeah, we don't need them.
Well, no, then that way.
Buying them anyhow.
No, that turns that one into a saleable item if we can allow it. Anyway. It is a Blazer. People, hey, I fixed stuff that bad, Blair.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, we're getting low on work.
Yes, yeah, I know. Low on work. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to go out and sandblast this so I can prime it.
Great idea.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, here, you might want to sit down for this. I've got some really sad, tragic news. And just...
What, you want to change the color?
No. So Blair.
Yeah.
Over the holidays, I just don't know how to break this to you, buddy. But somebody bought the blue 71 Superbee and you don't have to fix it.
The rusty one? Oh.
I knew you'd be heartbroken.
Yes.
I knew you'd be heartbroken.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. And they bought the other one as well, so we don't have to restore it. They bought it as is.
The pair of them gone?
Yes, pair of them gone.
Jeez, that's freaking awesome.
Where's this?
Guy. And it's Monday. Right.
Anyway, I thought that might make you sad and disheartened. So sorry, guys. Blair really wanted to fix the 71 Superbee, but we have sold them as is. So
I was looking forward to the challenge.
Yes, I know you were.
On and on. And
Okay.
on for
Anyway, back to work.
That's freaking good news.
So, do you want to work on the Blazer, or are we going to look at this rear suspension?
Well,
I think let's get the Blazer out of here first.
Well,
yes.
I want to get those bolts in. Yep.
Okay. When we said 1 week builds, the assumption was 2 guys, 1 week. Basically, while Blair spent a week on that, and the first week, I was outside organizing the yard for the auction, winding up. So when Blair left, I did spend another day or so on it. We got the frame painted. I got the rims painted.
And then you were incredibly busy coating the floor with crap.
Yes. Then I was
in place of the freaking write-off.
Yes, I was
amazing.
Incredibly busy making a mess.
Yes.
But anyway, then we were waiting for the body mount bolts, so we couldn't do anything. They showed up while Blair was gone. So I got them in, basically, and like now Blair says, we've got to do some structural work. We have our inner fenders showing up Wednesday with Matt. So basically, another couple days on this. By Thursday, it should be out, which is still basically 1 week, 2 guys, or 2 weeks, 1 guy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay,
yes.
Fine. Wow.
Okay, anyway. I'm just justifying my own laziness and ineptness. Yes,
yeah.
Anyway. Speaking of lawyers, I got to phone mine. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the plan. Okay, Blair, I'm going to go sandblast you.
I'm going to grind those welds off.
Yeah.
And,
you might want to beat those down, too.
I'll grind it first. It's easier to grind
Yep.
before I hammer it down.
Okay, anyway, you can move that where you want it. I'm going to take this outside and blast it.
Okay, these bolts were welded in before because the hole had been destroyed where the carriage head sits. They have a square head underneath there called carriage head. So we're going to have to weld them again to make sure they don't turn while I'm tightening up the body mounts down below. I might not do that on a $200,000 build. Oh wait, I better set my welder. Okay. See how it goes. Great. First weld of the new year. Oops. Okay. Let's try this again. Why isn't my helmet going dark? My helmet isn't darkening. So that can be a battery. Wow, I'm gonna have to clean it up. Oh, how do we tighten that up? Okay, nuts and bolts, washers and stuff. Okay, let's see how this is supposed to go together. Now, I'm having my doubts. That's how it's supposed to go on there. Could be. Yeah, could be. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, the problem, it's an issue. It doesn't matter who was working on the vehicle. Someone's got a job halfway done and you come in trying to figure out where the heck they were at. Cost you a lot of time getting up to speed on what they were doing. Okay, there's a sleeve that's supposed to be in there. I couldn't tell if it was in there or not. Looks like it isn't. Okay, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get her. It's gonna go up a little higher, just need my hammer. We're getting body mounts in, especially on a vehicle that's been driven for 50 years. A lot of times, things don't quite line up the way they were intended. So there's a bit of pushing and pulling going on. Okay, that's up where it belongs. And then this goes around it. Now, I didn't unlock this kit. Yeah, okay. I think that's where it goes. I just got to make sure it's got the rest of these installed nicely. Wow, looks good, looks good. I got it all figured out. So, before I tighten this up completely, you can check that out. That washer looks a little oversized to say the least. But I'll get a nut started on it. And this other side here too I gotta do. Up there, we can get that up in place. Yeah. Wow. Why is that so difficult? That's being awful weird. Not enough to get the bolt started, the nut started. So I gotta work on that some more. Not sure what's going on there. Shit. Okay, gotta get a pry bar. Every sandblasting setup has a bit of a personality. How you set the valves up can vary from tank to tank. So I just had to give her a hand because I'm used to that one. Wow. I may have to drill out the center hole, which wouldn't really make sense. Oh, there we go. There we go. Cool. Okay, and we got two at the very back. So I'll get those started, and then I can start to tighten things up. And once it's tight, then I can look at straightening out that back. The back cross member. Oh, I see. Okay. Because you got to get kicked over just a hair. So I got to get the pry bar out. There's a shoulder in here. It's not dropping into place. I think I'm gonna need longer bolts. And again, taking over a job from someone else, I don't know what they ran into. So, just clean them out is the easiest thing. Obviously, he found a solution. Whoa. It's already pretty long. I'm gonna have to make this one work. All right. Yeah, one more. Of course, I'm missing the washer for the last one. Well, it's here. I just gotta dig around and find it. There we go. That was easy. Right on. It's kind of good to be back. All right. Okay. Okay. I've got to get this bolt out. There we go. Find out why. I'm going to have to chase the threads. So I'm going to get a tap and die set. I'll fix that up. Well, this is challenging. Okay. I gotta lower this down so I can swing the arm out of the way. See if I can get in there. Oh, man. Okay, I gotta lower it down. Damn. Let's see if this works. I need one with that freaking long. Okay, the only way to get this is I had to jack the cab up, take the body mount out so that I can get in here to tap it. This is the thing. There's only one bolt, but it can cost you an hour or two. And if you don't do it, yeah, man, well, it's just, you have to do it. You gotta take the time and do it right. So this was in really good shape up until you hit some damage in the threads, which I'm trying to find out. And so far, that looks pretty good. Maybe it was the bolt that was buggered up and not the threads. The bolt looked pretty good. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the bolt was the issue. So I'll try to screw it in without the body mount and see what happens. I mean, sometimes it's just an alignment issue where you're not straight into the threads. Yeah, that went in like a piece of cake. So we'll pull her out and we'll try just doing straight bolt without the mount. I am going to put some copper coat on the threads. Okay, and here's our bolt. Let me see. Okay, I'll dope up the threads and I'll run this one in. There's a little gall end of the thread, little damage. So I'm going to go run a dye over that. And then I'll come back and try it. The thread, I've chased the threads here. So this is now looking good. I just want to make sure it'll start. Hey, look at that. Excellent. Okay. Ready to around. Probably cost me half an hour. Maybe a little more. But now I can lift this cab up again, put the mount back in, and I can bolt this down as it should be. Then I can go to the back end and start doing stuff. Okay. I'm using the jackal to jack it up. I don't like jackals. They've taken out more than a few noses and foreheads. Even my dad got nailed once. So I don't recommend using these. Okay. And I'm going to try to start the bolt before I finish setting the body down. Just because. There we go. Just like it should. let's see if we can do it. It's falling into place. And it'll tighten up until it hits that shoulder on the sleeve inside the mount. There we go. Okay, that should do it. Okay, let's have a look at our gaps. Yeah, wide at the top. We knew that. So now it's all bolted down. Let's see if I can finesse this side up. Chances are it's just going to lift the truck off of the ground. I don't think it's going to take more force per square inch than the weight of the truck. Is that the proper way to describe it? When I push up on this, it would be nice if I could anchor this down. You know, if I had a floor putt here, I'd chain it down, jack that up, just to be real simple. The other thing I could do is I can put a timber under here, chain it down, put a block over here, and jack this up. And I'm considering that the simple way, cut through here on where it's buckled, and I bring that back up where it belongs. I'm just going to get a straight edge so you can see what I'm talking about here. So I just lowered it down, and then here it is.
Gonna need any shims or not?
I don't know yet. So if you look at that,
Yeah.
that's how much it's got to come up. It's all flat in the middle. So it's not as bad. So jack
So
it
why
up.
are you gonna chain it to the hoist, or you're just gonna try and
Well, no, that's really not going to work. I mean, if I had a piece of I-beam or timber at the back, I'd throw a chain around here, and I would jack that up and have a block in here, and it would push against itself. Other than that, I do a zip cut, and I just jack it up and weld in to fill up
Yeah.
the gap. So I'm about to figure that out. I'm going to have a quick look in case I see a timber or something laying around. If not, then I'll just go straight to cut.
Yeah. Yeah, then once it's level, then
Yeah.
both that together, yeah, cool.
Oh. Okay, once I get this rigged up, I will show you what I'm up to. I'm going to jack that side up, which means this has got to be chained down to the tubing I'm jacking up from. And when I'm jacking that down, this end's going to want to come up probably. So I'll have to put some kind of a spacer in here. So it can't do that. It'll make sense once I get it rigged in. All right, so what I got going on here, I want to lift this up. So I'm going to lift it up with the porta power, but I would lift the whole truck up. So I'm jacking off of a piece of heavy tubing. Now I've chained the tubing to the back of the frame so that when I jack this up, it won't just lift the truck up because it's jacking off of the same steel that we're bolted to. Now when you do that, as you can see up, the force is going to be trying to lift up, so we keep it anchored. Then this side would want to come up when we push down on that side. So I'm putting a spacer in here so that side can't lift up. This is a bit wimpy. I'm in a bit of a rush, and I'm thinking it won't take that much force. But we're going to find out, and we're going to find out right now. This being forward or back, so that when I start putting pressure on it, it kicks out one way or the other. It would have been nicer to have a piece of wide flange, something like that, but I'm gonna try this. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And we'll see what happens. And I have this to sort of show me what's going on. You can see the gap at the end of that. So let's see what happens here. This height may have to be adjusted. Okay. Now, if you look between here, this gap is getting smaller. See that? That's because this is bending up. Now, as I put pressure on it, I want to hit the buckles gently with my hammer. So I'm gonna go find my hammer. Okay. Now, just so you know, you have a bent frame horn, you know, cross member forward. You can use the same method to straighten your own frame. Give it some more tension. It's coming way up. And I want a bit of a pry bar here. If that's in, is it like a dolly? Okay, so have a look. We're pretty much tight here. So when you're doing something like this, you go extra, because it's always going to come back. Now you can see we're actually opening up a gap here. Ooh, there's some good tension here. Okay, let's go look at the door gap. Well, look at that. It's all nice and snug, pretty even all the way down. That's why we're doing this. And in here, that's looking way better. You see, it's not just the outside. That is an inverted C. This is the outside, the same thing is going on the inside, flat top. So this is going to catch both sides of that support cross member. So I'm pretty happy. This is just one side. We gotta do the other side still. Okay, just for the fun of it, gonna back it off. It's gonna go way too low, but we'll see how far too low. Watch it come down. Watch the gap tighten up here, and watch it open up on the other side. Okay, whoop, that's the tension off. Now, I want to show you something here. Ooh. Shouldn't have backed it all the way up, but I just want to show you. I could get my finger in there before. Now this is all pretty close. Touching there. There's no tension on it right now, so I'm going to go check the gap. It's a hair wide at the top, so I am going to give it some more. Okay, I'm going to give her some more. Oh, still hasn't. Yeah, I guess we straightened it quite a bit. I might have to change things up now. Right on, right on. Yeehaw. Ho, ho, ho. Okay. Way over. You can see that obviously. So let's bring her back down, see where she stops. Just a little more would make me happy. Oh. Okay, there you have it. Look at the far end. Pretty much got rid of that gap. It's looking straight here. That one someone's messed with, but I'm happy with that now. Way better. So now we go over and do the other side. And again, if this is the frame horn on your car that's down, or even if it's up, if I wanted to bring this farther down, I would chain the far end to this piece of tubing, and I'd put my jack over here. And as that went up, that would be forced down. So you can move the steel any way you want, depending on where you want to do your pivot point. It's fun stuff. I like doing frames. I like doing this kind of stuff. And some of them can be pretty complicated. This one's pretty simple, and we got lucky, went pretty easy. Okay, so same deal here. Okay, if I can get that jammed in. Let me see. There's a spot. Okay. Again, this side wasn't as bad. But you see that gap? That's what we're going to get rid of. First we got to tighten up this chain. And that. Pick up the slack. Whoa. I don't know, I might have to tighten up this chain. I think it's too loose. Yeah, I'm going to tighten up that chain. Come down a bit. Come on. Okay, maybe that'll work. Actually, yes, I was just talking to Mike. Camlet working on a Chevelle. It has some adjustments to do on the frame. I'm explaining this to him. Okay, you can see that closing up. Yeah, right there is tight. Be careful there. See what I mean? Now. See how we're looking. Okay. Let's see if we gained anything. Yeah, we probably gained a hair. So the weld I had on here broke off. When I started doing this weld, I didn't have the gas turned on, so it's a really crappy weld. But that's my fault completely. So let's get this thing out of the way. We'll re-weld that. That's what I was talking about, where it can swing up. Yeah, the first one went entirely too easy. You can see it's lifted right up off of there. I hope you can see that. Now, back it off and see where it ends up. Over push just the right amount. Okay. Now again, these parts have been replaced. This part of the floor. So I'm trying to decide whether I can use them with a complete guide. So I'm gonna go look at the door gap and see how it looks. Okay, door gap is just freaking brutal. Yeah, still too wide at the top, so I gotta come some more. But also, you can see up here, it's tight. That means this door has to drop back, which would tighten up the top of the gap there. So I need to raise the door up a bit and then move it back. Okay, zero gap. It's good. Right on. So I gotta put the tailgate on because these square bodies got a weld along the base of this stake pocket, both sides. And I do have a weld to do up at the front. So at least now, she's bolted down, I can line up the doors and I can finish my door gaps. I'm waiting for Mike to finish this tailgate so I can put it on, because you gotta angle in your sides before you weld them, because they get welded right at the base here. So I want the tailgate on to make this vertical gap nice, and then I'll weld the base there. So for now, I'm gonna go up and clean up my gaps at the back of the door. All right, now I'm going to replace the back end of the fender well on the Blazer. I previously cut by the edges because I wouldn't be able to get right against the edge with this panel in place. My zip cut would have cut through it, or I'd have to use the Sawzall. So I'm going to cut over to here, I'm going to cut down, and then I'm going to copy it and make a new piece for that. Okie dokie. What am I going to do? These are factory bead rolls. You know something? Yeah. Jeez. No, I'll make new ones. Okay, I'll go grab a chunk of sheet metal. Okay. So about there. Shears. All right. Here we are. Yes. This needs a break. This needs a break. I'm marking for these bead rolls. I don't know how I'm going to do them. I might just set it down. We don't have a bead roll that's that wide. So if I set it in the jaws of the vise and I tap down with a round dolly or some piece of steel, I can get that shape. That's what I'll do. In fact, I'll probably do that first. I'll go find some kind of a dolly to do that with. So I'm going to set the vise at the right width a little tighter. There. So now I just have to get a round edged something or other and hammer down. And I know I've got the right piece. There's what I'm going to do it in. I'm going to trim this back edge just so I can see what I'm doing better. So I find this double D shaft looks about right. So I'm just going to cut a piece to the proper length. I'll grind the ends and I'll hold it in place and hammer it down. All right. Don't know if it's going to work. Hope it might. This double D shaft. It's like 2 Ds back to back. I've ground the edges. We use it for steering shaft. But it might be good to give me what I want here. I'm not really sure. I'm going to try it. So I'm lining up this. Yeah, man.
You know what else I got that's going to make me insanely happy?
What's that? Hey, shot glasses?
20 more of these.
Oh, no. Really?
They had them on sale. I had to get them from Ottawa.
And you know why? This stuff doesn't work too much.
They work perfect.
No one else wants it.
I know.
So they shipped it all the way over here to you.
For $8. This came from Ontario for $8 freight, and they sold me these for $1.89 a piece.
I was just talking about what I thought of your wonderful fittings just a minute ago when I couldn't make them work.
Well, if you weren't so weak, they'd work better.
Please. Oh, man.
I know your cal's complaining.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to line up here to here. That's the base of it. You're going to see what happens. No way of knowing. Yeah, looking all right. I'm going to have to dolly this other end flat, but I want to hit this end a little sharper. Yeah, there we go. We're getting there. See that? Okay. Okay, now that looks pretty horrible, but just give me a minute. I'm going to go to the anvil with a body hammer, and I'm going to try to fix that. We'll see what happens. Of course, if it totally sucks, I might not show you, but we'll see. All right. So, the right way and the wrong way. This was the wrong way. I had it flipped over when I did my holes. These are supposed to be up here. So, I'm going to hammer them flat and try again. I can't believe I did that. I can, but I shouldn't have done that. Anyhow, I'm going to try to see if I can hammer it flat and try again. Okay, I'm going to go dolly that on the anvil. I think I got it. I can trace this out and trim it. there it is. You gotta prime it, put some sealant around it. And just gotta do the front half. By then the tailgate primer should be dry. That might just epoxy. And maybe we'll salvage a good day out of this.